I've put over 100 hours into Crimson Desert, and just last week I found something that changed how I play. Not a small thing, really, a movement system, or at least a movement layering that I thought I had mastered. I was using, just one portion of it, and I wasn't doing what it can actually do. And that's this game. It rewards time, but it also, it humbles you. And there are items sitting in boss arenas that you probably have already cleared. There's mechanics a tutorial never mentioned, systems that once you see them, you'll wonder how you played without them. So if you're past the basics and you're ready to go deeper into this game, this is the video for you. So let's get started. And you can also navigate ahead to any of the tips that interest you the most using the chapters about the timeline in the description. We've all played a lot of this game, so I want to be respectful of your time and only keep the most interesting things in front of you. But again, let's get started. And my first tip is actually about exploration. You've probably gone through this whole location here, and this is much of Hernand. This is where you've spent the last 40, 50, 60, 70 hours of the game. Well, one thing that happens with open world games is you get this exhaustion that hits. And it's what ends up resulting in you quitting the game and going, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop for a little bit and go play this new game or go try something else. I think what keeps this game fresh and original is exploring more. Getting out of this comfort zone of just Hernand and doing all the quests around Hernand. By all means, do that. Play this game how you want. But if you push yourself into Demenis or Delicia or the Crimson Desert or Pyloon quicker, you will have more fun because you'll be in different environs, you'll explore different things, and I think you won't hit that open world exhaustion. When you get to that point of, hey, I've got discovered every little inch of this location, or at least like 90% of it. When you go to the next one, you're like, oh man, I got to color this whole map. I got to go find all those bell towers. This is going to be a drag. So this is my stream version of the game. This is what I play on stream so that it doesn't have any spoilers. Let me jump ahead to another save just to show you what I mean by exploring out of the box. So here we are at the Crimson Desert, and this is a much different environment than all of Hernand, right? And I'm not saying to rush to the Crimson Desert or anything of the sort. But I'm saying by taking a line that brings you outside of just simply Hernand and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to follow this coastline and see what it delivers for me. Or, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to switch to quest so you don't see every little thing here. I'm going to go ahead and do these little things that I've observed by reading books. Or I'm going to go do this location all the way over here. By pushing yourself into these uncomfortable locations, away from the rest of everything else, you explore the game on a way that I think keeps it fresh and original for you so that you don't just get that open world exhaustion and burnout. Now, you will accumulate quite a lot of faction quests and challenges and all sorts of stuff, but try to ignore them, right? You kind of get that got to complete everything completionist task. Don't worry about it. Just hit things at your own stride. Think of this like when the first time you played Skyrim, where you're just approaching things as they come at you rather than trying to hit a laundry list of journal entries and stuff like that. And I think you'll find that you'll stay with the game longer and you'll enjoy all of the very many different things the game has to offer you. This next tip is all about movement, especially using aerial stab. So we're going to come over here to our skills and just make sure that we have all of our points invested into stab to get aerial stab. Right bumper Y is how you're going to be doing this on a console. But basically what we're going to be doing here is we're going to jump into the air. I'm then going to use my force palm ability, which is going to shoot me up. I'm going to do that as many times as I can. And then I'm going to aerial stab up into the air as much as I can. Now this can be supplemented with some stamina food, which I guess I just ran out of. That will help you get more distance out of this because aerial stab will drain your stamina. So we'll see how we can use this then in conjunction with glide and grapple. I laid all of it out. Let's see how this works. So we're going to try to scale that mountain right over there, right? So I'm going to jump, palm, 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 and then aerial stab up in the air. And I'm just going to keep doing it. Do it one more time, and I'm going to glide. And I've almost made it up. I can then grapple and then press the jump button to launch up to this location. So this is going to become very helpful as soon as you start to go into the Abyss Nexus, when you have to traverse a lot of jump puzzles. I always recommend just playing the platforming portion of it because that's kind of how the game was intended to be played, right? But sometimes you get through them, it's just frustrating. You can't get over that little hump. Go ahead and use something like this. It is very gamey, so expect it to possibly get patched out. Aerial stab was already patched in I think a patch or two, which made it less effective, but you can see it's still pretty damn effective. But if I wanted to scale that mountain in a real quick breeze, using this allows me to do that, and it helps me traverse big scary portions of the game with lots of mountains. Sanctums are a pretty important part of the game, but what I did not realize is that there's more to them than just simply liberating them. You then have to cleanse them, and cleansing them is not just, again, putting all of these pillars in place and turning it on. You see, if this antenna is up above it, you still have more that you can get from these locations. You'll get recipes to make your cuckoo pot better, this little guy right here. And again, these sanctums are part of the witch's quests. So once you unlock the first witch through the story, these sanctums will be part of a quest to go and unlock them. But once you've done them, you have to come up and do the mini game that is associated with this little like refracting gem right here. So we're going to go into our blinding flash, and then we're going to press focus light. That's left bumper on our controller or control on PC. And you'll see these little nodes. Think of these little nodes, these little like kind of gems right here, not these stone pieces, but these little individual gems as Morse code. So you have to light up this center wheel and let it go. Oops, light up the center wheel. And pretty much just like tap, tap, go, right? Tap, tap, hold, tap, tap. Now I'm gonna let this mess up so I can show you again. You have to go all the way through. The first time doing it, it's gonna piss you off. Trust me, it made me so mad. I had to learn the timing because the timing is a little funky on when you're supposed to pick up your finger on the holds. The tap is literally just a tap too. Don't think of it like I'm gonna hold my finger down and let go, hold my finger down and let go. It's press it down and let go. Don't put it for any serious amount of time. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna complete it, and I'll show you what you get. Because you get something that is important for the cuckoo pot recipes. And you'll hear little audio cues on the holds that tell you like, hey, you can let go now. And there we go. We'll complete all the way through this. It'll lock this in place. This is the very first sanctum, so it's not that much of a spoiler here, right? This goes through, antenna drops down, sucks in all that good energy, I suppose. And out comes another piece of a puzzle. And you'll just go ahead and use your hook, grab that and seal it away. And you'll get a core of temperance. These cores, this is the Sanctum of Temperance, that was the core of temperance, are used for cuckoo pot recipes and some other things that I don't want to spoil for you, but this is not something I learned until a great deal of time into the game. Killing bosses is a big portion of this game, and every single boss has its own, let's just call it an arena, right? Like right here, this is where the Stag Lord is. If you've not done this quest, it's really fun to do. It's very early in the game. And by doing it, you'll get the items that you might get from the boss itself, whatever it is. But usually the boss's arena will have 1, 2, maybe even 3 items that you could get in addition. So if the Stag Lord's fought right here, I unfortunately can't show you exactly like the pickups of those items. I'm going to show you where they are. But just to give you an example, right here on this wall, there is this guard, this Tommaso's guard's dagger tipped spear. This does respawn, so if you missed it, it'll be there. If you've already picked it up and sold it, it'll be there. So you can have that spear right there. Now that's not necessarily a rare item, but if I come all the way down here, you can see there's this little tiny hidey hole. And we'll go into here and knock that down. And you can see that there was a chest right here, which gave me the cloak that my character is currently wearing. And there's this, oh, right here, Fallen Kingdom's rapier, which is unfortunately only for Damien, but I'll be able to pick up, that's the second one I've got now, for whatever reason. But a nice thing to do is, this hat that I'm wearing right now is the the pirate hat, the Pirate King hat, has detect treasure. And after a more recent patch, this has become even better because it has a much wider range. So I would pop this on if you don't have it. You can get it at the pirate ship just off the coast of Hernand. And walk around the arena of any boss. If you have a treasure chest like this that's hidden, your character's, the little tiny feather on this hat will glow a very bright yellow, like you can't miss it. And this is a great thing to do because you might have missed items in these locations for every boss fight. So make sure you go through them with a fine-tooth comb to ensure you didn't miss out on any items. This is a pretty low value example, but there's some really good swords and other weapons that you might have just missed that were just sitting on the ground. Oh, we'll only show you this though first, since we just picked it up. If I come over here to the one-handed weapons, this is the Fallen Kingdom's Rapier, which by default comes out at a refinement level of 5. Only for Damien, but still. It's a pretty jacked weapon that you just simply find on the ground, and you'll get this leather cloak of the Fallen Kingdom, as well as that, this is the Tommaso's Guard's dagger-tipped spear. So this is an example of the items you can get from these arenas. Crafting, refinement, abyss gears, it's all a big portion of this game. But if we come into our inventory, we can see that we can also play around with stacking up abyss gears. So if we go take a look at my double-headed axe of greed here, I have taken the right bumper and a abyss gears and put 2 of them onto this weapon. Or over here, I have 2 finishers, Order from Above and Arrow Rain. So don't be afraid to stack any and all of these abyss gears on weapons, on armor. I think I've got, where is it over here? This one's got, yeah, all defense into this armor. So play around with choosing different abyss gears to stack in. I mean, you can have a bunch of different abilities on the item if you want, and that's definitely a way to go about it. Like this one right here, I could have put that, but that's right bumper B versus this one just being right bumper A. So when I go ahead and press right bumper A, we're going to see that both of these are going to come out at the same time. So this gives us some fun functionality with both those finishers active on here too. We'll see that these, oh, and I'm going to watch a vault right now, I suppose. I didn't expect that to happen in the middle of the video. With both of these finishers coming out, they will also happen simultaneously on the weapon. So that gives us the capability. I think you actually have to, never mind. I think this has to actually be completely on the main weapon for both finishers to go active. There we go. Yeah, the main weapon has to have the finishers active. I thought I could dual wield and show them both. I've never tried it. But you can see that's both of the finishers going off for this specific weapon. It gives us the Order from Above and that Arrow Rain, so that we're basically double dipping into a lot of really fun functionality with this, and it's a real great way to amp up tons of damage or tons of other abilities into these weapons. So definitely stack your abyss gears. Bounties are a pain in the ass, and I'm going to show you how you can double dip doing a bounty to save yourself some time and some travel distance, since you have to manually bring them back to a location. So there's a bounty all the way down here for Salvatore, and there's another bounty all the way over here for Blix. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the furthest bounty first. I'm going to grab Salvatore, and then I'm going to show you how we're also going to get Blix at the same time. So let's go grab Salvatore. We've grabbed Salvatore. We have him on our shoulder. Now, normally you can just go ahead and ride your horse, right? But if you hold down your left bumper, or basically whatever the aim button is on a keyboard, you can see that this pops up with load. You have to aim toward the horse's butt. We're going to press A, and now that is just safely on our horse. We don't have to worry about anything. I can go and do whatever I want. He's not going to escape. I can go run away, do whatever, and I've got both my arms and I can run at full speed, everything like that. But now we're basically just going to take this character. We're going to ride all the way over here to where Blix is. If you've ever done the Blix quest, he could be like anywhere in this region. It's just a real pain in the ass. So I'm going to go find Blix so you don't have to suffer through that. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next. And just a quick shout too is, I had another quest that was just right in this area. So I can go ahead and take care of that quest while that bounty is on the back of the horse. This frees you from saying like, this is just a simple, like talk to this person situation, or maybe you have something that you got to quickly buy something for a favor. You can just quickly do those things so you don't have to come back here. Allows you to double, triple, quadruple dip, whatever the situation is. All right, we finally got Blix, and then we also have Salvatore still. You can see they're both on my person. So what I'm going to do is turn them both in with one loaded onto the back of the horse and me holding one. It's going to be kind of an annoying trip, but at least I don't have to go too, whoops. So I don't have to go too far because the turn in is just right over here in Hernan. And this is going to be valuable for any of the many bounties you're going to have to do, especially if you do this whole entire chain of bounties, you get something for it that I don't want to ruin for you. And then finally, once you get them both back to Hernan, you can turn them both in. It is a very tedious tip here that I've given you, but the whole process of turning in bounties in and of itself is tedious. So I'd rather you just be able to double dip and get these both done as fast as you can, especially some of the ones that are much further away. Of course, these are not the only bounties in the game. There's plenty more that you are going to encounter. So once we've gone ahead and turned that one in, we'll turn back around, take a look at our horse, unload that cargo, and turn this guy in as well. So that is how you can double dip and make bounties a little bit less frustrating. I guess you can make the argument, hey, that like by having to run to the next one, it's going to cost you just as much time. Hopefully you get the ones grouped together that are in the same general location. Since we've talked about Abyss gears, let's now talk about elemental imbuements that you'll get from the Abyss. So if we take a look at this, these are the elemental imbuements. You've got lightning, frost, flame. You start with spirit and you will unlock wind. Wind is the only one you'll unlock through the story. The other ones you have to go into the Abyss itself. And once you unlock these capabilities, you can use a certain button combination or pressing 2, 3, 4, whatever on the keyboard to activate them. But you also can charge up certain capabilities. So if I use turning slash, then press this button. Oops, don't press the right one there. Whoopsies. Use turning slash with flame equipped. It then becomes an elemental imbued turning slash. Now, how do you do that? First, you simply invest into the skill point here, and you can see that it can become charge shot, force palm, meteor kick, whatever. But you get these by going to the map, and I'm going to put this into the Abyss layer. So this is where you roughly start the game for the Abyss. Every single one of these Skybridge gates, I have a whole video coming on this, it's way more elaborate, but these Skybridge gates will take you to another portion of the Abyss ad infinitum. So pretty much anytime you find a new portion of the Abyss, take a gate, and it's just going to be another series of puzzles that's going to push you through all of it. And they're pretty long, they're very tedious, but they will unlock the elemental imbuements. That is how you get them, and they're really important because they just add so much flavor to combat, to how you're going to do things, and certain puzzles require those elemental imbuements to get through them. Like, for example, lightning imbuement is used for one of the very first big elaborate puzzles that you only find by reading books. There are a ton of vendors in the world, and these vendors have a lot of things to offer you. But this extends out of just simply vendors. A lot of the named NPCs, or at least the specific type of NPCs, like say, hey, this person is a dyer, or this is one of the people in your Greymane camp, you can increase their trust, which will then allow you to do certain things with them. So let's take Tina here, who is the tailor over at the Hernand Tailor. We're going to go ahead and greet her. That's going to give us a total of 5 trust. Anytime you greet anyone after a certain period of time, I think it's every day, it gives you 5 trust. But you can also gift them. And just depending on the individual, diamonds are the best thing to gift. It increases the most. You can do gold ore. You can even do gold bars if you got tons of those. But for example here, I'm going to go ahead and give this manual to Tina because I already have learned the knowledge from it, right? So we'll go ahead and do that. And that increased her trust by 10. I think actually you can even buy manuals off characters. Like for example here, I think that manual on her desk. Nope. Yeah, I can just physically go over and buy it. So I know I've already got this. 50 copper to do this. We can go over to Tina and then just gift it back to her. So then there we go. That gave us 10 extra trust. Once you get your trust to 10, this is going to be variable. And I have a whole video on this coming out tomorrow because there's just a lot of stuff to cover with it. You can get a number of different things. Red here, for example, I already have my trust here with him to 10. So I now have this equipment supply contract. This works with the tailor as well. And he will then sell his stock at my Greymane camp. Some vendors do this, some vendors don't. Some vendors will give you unique items like armor, helmets, stuff like that. Some vendors will just simply give you unique gathering tools or even the locations of legendary beasts. So for example, let's go ahead and just back out here and go to the map. If you go over to here, where the saddlery is, right outside of Hernand, this individual will give you the location for the legendary horse in the game, one of the legendary horses in the game. So this is an example how building your vendor trust is a huge way to get a lot of little items you didn't know about. And there's even, like I said, unique items that you can't get anywhere except for building this trust or dyes from dyers, stuff of that sort. As you come into Dominus, you're going to deal with a lot of enemies with shields. As you can see here, there are tons of enemies over there with shields. Let me see if I can bring like 1 or 2 this way. Great, I got both of the sergeants, so this is going to be a little wild. But what we want to do here is we just want to use Force Palm. Force Palm will immediately drop the shield of a shielded opponent. Because otherwise, when I go to attack them, they just absorb the hits with their shield. So if we go ahead and just get caught up by a tree and then swarmed by the bees of soldiers that are everywhere. Good lord. Hey, who's this standalone guy out here looking like a dude? We just force pump, and then you come up to him and then you can just finish him off. Boom. Immediately done with, and you don't need to try and do this infinitely. Now, obviously, in this case, I didn't finish him off because this weapon is not refined up, but the damage isn't very high. So when you're doing this, of course, make sure you're in a situation where you can finish them off, but you don't deal with a lot of shielded enemies in the very early portions of the game. So when you come to Dimenus, you're swarmed by them, and by using Force Palm, you can get yourself an ability to just open up their guard and kill them, finish them off, do whatever. Like, have a better refined weapon so you actually do true damage, whatever the situation is. It's a great way to deal with those enemies. Now, this last tip is something that's probably going to help you out a lot whenever you do any boss fights and you forgot to go do some cooking. So we're going to go to inventory. We're just going to go over to our food. We're going to go to the bottom. That's my actual cooked food. We're going to look for any kind of raw meat. I think this works with other vegetables as well, like corn and stuff like that. But the thing we're going to do here is discard it onto the ground. Find where it got discarded. So it's right there. We're going to go into our blade mode, and then we're going to focus the light and cook the meat. That's all it takes. Grilled meat. Done. So if you find yourself at a boss fight and you don't have any meat, there you go. It's a real quick way to do it. This is something that I think I saw in a Reddit post or something like that. And I was like, damn it, that would help me out so much in a lot of these boss fights that I just did not have enough food ready. But if you have any advanced tips that you've really come across in all of your gameplay of Crimson Desert, let it be known in the comment section below. There are some things that I didn't really touch on, you know, like being able to go over here and use trees to give you an ability to just go ahead and get a bunch of, as I mess this up, you can get these things, you pull them all the way back, jump, and then you can use it to fly somewhere. I mess that up because I'm talking in the middle of this, but there's a lot of little tiny things like that that took me a long time to discover. And this video could have easily been double its length in a lot of those little things. So if you know of any of them, go ahead and let it be known in the comment section below. Anything like that deeply helps out anyone that is trying to get better at this game. If you ended up enjoying the content and you found something useful, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, as that always helps me out in a huge way. And lastly, don't forget to check me out on Twitch, where you can find me streaming this game and plenty of other ones. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.